Breaking news, asylum seekers currently in migrant camps in northern Mexico will soon be allowed into the U.S. Those camps established as part of the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy.
It was part of an effort to slow the 2019 Central American migrant surge, which resulted in record-breaking apprehensions. This was the then Border Patrol sector chief.
Our resources right now are overwhelmed and outstretched.
Because of the overwhelming space in the detention center, they released them.
Both of those interviews from March of 2019, as Governor Abbott told us just yesterday, the Border Patrol is releasing people who cross the border illegally again because of COVID-related caps at detention centers. So how will this next move work?
The asylum seekers will only be allowed in at 3 ports of entry, one of them right here in the valley. Here's Channel 5's Tanvi Verma.
Starting next Friday, the port of entry in Brownsville is expecting to begin processing up to 100 migrants a day. At a press conference today, Congressman Henry Cuellar said there are roughly 25,000 migrants with active cases. He also talked about how the process will work in regards to COVID-19.
They'll have a staging area, they'll do medical screening, make sure that they are negative, they'll test them, and if they're positive, they have to wait in Mexico before they can come in.
In all, 3 ports of entry will be involved in the reprocessing, 1 in California, 1 in El Paso, and 3rd in Brownsville, each expected to handle about 100 people a day.
100 people per day, which is something very manageable. Right before, when MPP went into effect, we were seeing very high numbers, almost 1,000 a day.
Sister Norma of Catholic Charities says the city of Brownsville will provide COVID testing for inside the shelters as well.
They come out positive, we can put them in a hotel for isolation and do not release them until they're negative.
Catholic Charities will be one of the nonprofits helping with shelters. The cost for testing and isolating will be reimbursed by the Emergency Food and Shelter Grant, and all spending will be overseen by FEMA and will only go to local food and shelter boards.
Those families who have been stranded in Mexico for so long, really, truly suffering very difficult, inhumane conditions.
An asylum officer for the group of Physicians for Human Rights says there's no need to worry about asylum seekers posing a risk for COVID-19.
You know, a lot of it is open air. It's not necessarily a place that you can't cross safely if everyone is wearing masks and everybody has hand sanitizer and you're spacing out the lines.
However, despite this change in policy, international bridges still remain closed to what's deemed non-essential travel. Cuellar has been pushing for that to change as well and says he's going to keep pushing. Travel on the bridges has been restricted since last March. Tanvi Verma, Channel 5 News.